Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk on a Monday, the 14th of April. I'm CJ Baumgartner. That's Corey Tackman. It's the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Corey, let's just start things off talking a little bit here about the upcoming broadcast schedule for this week. Looking at tomorrow, the 15th, we got a little Park Region Conference softball with Pillager at Wadena Deer Creek. And that is on the Superstation K106, 105.9 FM, streaming online, WadenaRadio.com, Superstation K106 mobile app, 4:15 pregame, 4:30 first pitch. And then on Thursday, Monday, Thursday, baseball on the Superstation, Parker's Prairie hosting Wadena Deer Creek, 2:45 pregame, 3 o'clock first pitch. Should be a good one. Both of them on the Superstation K106. Both of them, as always, weather pending. And of course, you can find the full broadcast schedule online at WadenaRadio.com or the Superstation K106 mobile app. Corey, what does that weekly slate look like for you?
Well, I was trying to think of, once you said Monday, Thursday, I was trying to think of some sort of unleavened joke to throw in there about how the pitchers are not going to have any batters raise above the fence.
Didn't rise. Yeah.
Lots of flat ground ball. Something like, I don't know. It's a half-baked pun that's in there somewhere.
There was a lot of unleavened launch angles.
No, I fully, what was the baseball game again? Wadena Deer Creek and Parker's Prairie. Yeah. So that softball game, I contend, will probably be a nice softball game. I think Pillager is trending in the right direction. And we've talked about
this year that was pretty close. And yeah,
we've talked about Wadena Deer Creek softball already. There's nothing more that needs to be said. They're good. The baseball game is going to see, these are two perennial contenders at top of the Park Region Conference, and Parker's Prairie, of course, is, just awesome. That's just like they're just going to be really good. I saw a TikTok, by the way, like maybe a week ago. It was one of those AI generated like
voice.
And now here are the top 15 baseball programs in the state of Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
And then Parker's Prairie was number 3 on that AI generated. So Coach Denny, I talked with him and he goes, yeah, actually we saw that same thing too. It's pretty ridiculous. But they're good.
Let me put it to you this way about Parker's Prairie baseball. They have no sophomores on their varsity roster. It's all juniors and seniors.
Oh, is that true? Wow.
From what I've, and maybe Coach Denny, if you're listening, you can correct me. But
so the numbers are good, is what you're saying.
The numbers are good, and there's a lot of experience. I don't know if you know this last year, Corey, but Parker's Prairie baseball, they played in the state championship game at Target Field.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. I think we had it on the radio. Some guy did it. I don't know. I was paying attention.
Yeah, I think that same guy earlier in the week made it all the way to Brooklyn freaking Park before it got rained out and just had to turn around at Rudy Luther Toyota and just come straight back home. What are we doing?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was Zeke, I
think. My phone just went ding. And I looked down and it was a text message from Coach Denny. It said postponed to whatever the date was. A week, or I can't remember exactly. Like, all right. So I hit the exit ramp and I went over the overpass and I got onto the entrance ramp and we came right home.
There we go.
Okay. Well, so it goes.
Look on the bright side. You got basically out of a day's worth of work just to drive to the cities and drive home.
I think we got Taco Bell twice.
So who's to say that you lost in that day?
I did not lose. I did not lose at all. I think I got mileage for that trip even. I got mileage twice for one game. I double Jeopardy mileage.
It works. I don't know.
It worked that year.
Full broadcast schedule online, WadenaRadio.com, Superstation K106 mobile app for this week. All right, Corey, I got to tell you, so on the side, I do a little bit of speech coaching for the old alma mater there down at Bertha Hewitt, and we had our speech section performance on Saturday in Monaga. Okay. UNC hosted. They were great. It was a great day, great venue. Got to send some kids to state. It was awesome. But on the way home, I looked at
congratulations, by the way,
and it kind of like, yeah, no, those kids are great. And to all the other kids from other schools, like it was awesome. It's a really competitive section, really, really fun. And we were in the Caffeinasium at Monaga, and we were kind of like at the team commons, and we were just like talking, whatever, a little kind of rah-rah before we left. And I looked at them like, you guys know what the best part about competing at the section speech meet is? And they looked at me and they're like, what? And I went, going to Pizza Ranch to celebrate. And then I looked, I was like, no, does nobody get the bench warmers reference? And then my wife looked at me and said, no, you're old, and then walked away. But we went to Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade on the way home as a celebration.
I have good news. You are right. That is the best thing. I have more good news. Your wife is right, because you are old. Yep. You're both right. This is perfect. They don't get, it's a win-win situation here.
You ever see that bit from there's this cold open from one of the recent episodes of Abbott Elementary, and it has like they're talking about classical music, and of course they just mention like rap songs from 2004, and of course the teacher is like, what are you talking about? Those aren't old songs. And then one kid looks at him and is like, I was born in 2018. And he just kind of looks, he's like, we're gonna play Hot Cross Buns on the recorder. And just like, and that's me when I was like, what are you talking about? The movie came out in like 2005. And then I realized like, oh, these kids weren't born in 2005. And then I was like, oh yeah, you're right. We're going to play Hot Cross Buns on the recorder. And now we're going to talk about Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Corey, what's going on?
Oh, no, we're not talking about that yet, because you brought up one other thing that I'm interested in here. Okay. You said you were sitting around in the Caffeinasium or whatever that word was, given your rah-rah speech. What is a CJ Baumgartner rah-rah speech? What does that sound like? Are you like, it's one play at a time, I need 110%? What's a CJ Baumgartner rah-rah speech actually sound like?
Well, I think it was just more of it was after the awards, so we just found out which kids were going to state. So it was a little bit of like I don't even know. It was like I got to kind of be in the moment. You got to have the juices flowing a little bit to get like the full validity, the full genuine pep talk. But it basically just goes along, just went along the lines of like, all the hard work you guys did all season long has come to this moment, and you guys did a great job, and we heard everybody talking about how good you guys have been, and to see this validation for all the hard work you've put in is awesome. Something like that.
No, that's great.
But yes,
that was great.
And then I looked at our senior, the one senior girl on our speech team, and I went, Georgia, break us down. And then I walked away like it's the end of a basketball practice, and she just kind of went, yeah, good job, guys. Bears on 3. Like, and the reason I do it is for that reason, to go to like last year, my brother was a senior on the speech team. So every time I look at him, I go, break us down, and just go, okay, like
speech on 3.
Yeah, like exactly. And that's the fun part, is making them go, okay, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
none of us went out for sports for this exact reason. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of them, like I saw one of them after awards, because like all the finalists like are sitting on the floor like in rows with their category, and the rest of us are in the bleachers. And after awards got done, like we walked up to go talk to some of those kids, and then I went up to one who's like a sophomore. I just went up to her. I was like, "Yeah, come on! Like, yeah!" And she didn't know what to do. So that's my favorite part.
I love it. I love everything about it, and I love, let's look at this transition. Ready? I love everything about it, and I love Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena.
If you have to say this is a great transition.
Those are some of my favorite transitions, is you have to acknowledge it ahead of time.
It's the great thing in writing that they tell you all the time. Tell, don't show, you know?
Speaking of transitions, have you ever walked from the dining room at Pizza Ranch into the FunZone Arcade in Wadena?
Many times.
Easiest transition ever, the wide open spaces. We know how much you love the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. They want to know as well. So make sure that you take a few seconds and just review the Pizza Ranch, how great the food was, how great the service was. By the way, always like blown away at how quickly plates get removed and how the salad bar is just always being touched up. They're like,
your favorite pizza is always there.
Your favorite pizza's always there, but there's workers just running around like worker ants. They're touching up everything. They're sweeping up everything. You'll never find, after I drip a whole like goop of ranch dressing on the salad bar, it's gone. Almost, it's like somebody's lingered over my shoulder, like that Tackman guy's here. We got to clean up after this maniac.
A trail of ranch, so we know where it's sitting.
It's like a gross Hansel and Gretel. But they're on top of it, and they do an unbelievable job at making sure your experience at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade is tasty and clean and just an all-around great experience with the food and, of course, the arcade, the FunZone Arcade. So leave them a review, and while you're in there complimenting them, make sure you say, oh, and hey, thanks for making the morning sports desk possible. Corey and CJ appreciate it and probably need it for their mental health.
Yes, please. Morning Sports Desk powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Great place to go. Go stop there today and every day. All right, Corey.
Every day. Go every day.
Go every day. Who cares? You only live once. Live with Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade.
It's a salad bar. It's healthy.
Exactly. You get there's ice cream. You get your dairy. Like, look at that. So perfect. All right. Looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves, Corey, they are in the NBA playoffs for the second year in a row without having to go through the play-in tournament. This will be their fourth season in a row of making the playoffs, including the play-in, which, again, for Timberwolves basketball, for most of my life, the Timberwolves were just so bad that they weren't even worth watching for most of my life.
Terrible.
By the time I was old enough to really appreciate sports, it was all of a sudden like the 2004 Western Conference Finals was like, by the time you blinked, it was gone. And then you turned around and Kevin Garnett was in a Celtics uniform and all that kind of stuff. And then for the rest of your life, you're having to get hyped up about Big Al Jefferson and Randy Foye and all that kind of. And
by the way, terrible, not just for your life, for my life, for my dad's. I mean, what were the 89 was the first year. Yeah, so they've either been like in the most recent, you don't have to be that old to remember when they didn't even exist. And that was some of the most pleasant Timberwolves experience ever. They've mostly been miserable.
Mostly outside of the Kevin Garnett era, they were miserable. Yep. And now in the Anthony Edwards era, that started to turn around. Anthony Edwards now wrapped up his fifth regular season. The Wolves have made the playoffs in 4 of them, at the end of 4 of them.
Nice.
Which is good. The Wolves got a win yesterday against Utah. Anthony Edwards finishes the year as the NBA's leading 3-point shooter, which is pretty darn cool.
Crazy.
Anthony Edwards played in, I think, 79 games this year. Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker played in all 82, which is really remarkable. And the Minnesota Timberwolves escaped the play-in. They could have gotten as high as the 4 seed. Denver decided to try hard, and Houston decided to rest all their starters. Denver beat Houston, so that eliminated the Wolves from getting a 4 seed. The 5 seed was still in play if Golden State could have beat the Clippers, and I had to swallow my pride and watch the Warriors and cheer for Golden State. And Draymond Green decided late in the game, in overtime, he could have made a shot on the block to tie the game. You know what he decided to do, Corey? He decided to take a little half step and wait for contact so he could get an and one. And then he missed the shot. Draymond Green, you have a hater for life.
You hate him. I think Draymond Green is unbelievably lucky that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Steve Kerr exist, because those 3 are generally pretty to extremely likable. That it just okay. It's like why Dennis Rodman worked with the Bulls. We love Michael Jordan so much that, you know what, Dennis Rodman, you can get tripped up at a Timberwolves game and kick the photographer in the nuts and just be suspended for a game and life goes on. It's the same thing with Draymond.
Yep. Except Draymond has no trips to Vegas. thrown in there in the middle of a season. So
that we publicly know about.
Anyways, Draymond Green, congratulations. The Warriors, although this is fun because the Warriors now slip to the play-in tournament. They lose to the Clippers. And honestly, watching the Clippers play, I kind of want to wait to see maybe if some other team can knock them out because they're
tough.
They're playing really well. Kawhi is healthy. Harden's healthy. And just that alone makes them scary. And they got some nice players. And Ty Lue obviously has proven he can man a team and whatever. So that's so the Wolves avoid the Clippers. They avoid the Warriors. They avoid the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies and the Warriors now have to play in the play-in game. And that would have been a good game to avoid, having to play either one of those two in a single game situation. And then your prize for winning that game would have been playing the Houston Rockets, who are playoff inexperienced, but are a tough team. And
super tough.
And Udoka coaches that team. And of course, the things he did with Boston, proving that he's a good coach. And that's not that wasn't just Boston's roster. Like, he is a legitimate coach.
Totally.
So like they're a nice team. And again, let somebody else have them first and wear them down. Also, again, the Wolves playing the Denver Nuggets. While I know the Wolves fans are very confident, I know Denver's going through some stuff, but would you really have wanted to take on Jokic in a 7-game series knowing how last year went? You know what I mean? Like, they're fresh crack to like even the score again. So instead, the Wolves get the Lakers. They get LeBron and Luka. The storylines, Corey, with LeBron and Luka, you get, and the Lakers in general. Obviously, playing LeBron is in there. Ant versus LeBron. You have revenge on Luka for last year's Western Conference Finals. You have revenge for the 2004 Western Conference Finals, which is the last time these two teams have played in a playoff series against each other. You have revenge for the play-in game from a couple years ago where the Lakers beat the Wolves in overtime, I believe. And you have also revenge for the Lakers moving from Minneapolis to Los Angeles, a city with no lakes. Anyway, there's a lot of series aplenty. Of course, we know the media is going to be slanted very heavily in the Lakers direction, but and potential free throw disparities and all that kind of stuff. I think this is a really fun series. I'm really going to be interested in this matchup.
Well, in hindsight of now knowing who the matchup is, you pose the question like, would you rather play Denver or would you and because we know it's the Lakers, would you rather play Denver, the Lakers? I think actually the answer probably is Denver. I think Denver is a worse team. They have the best player in the world on their team, but they don't have like, if it's a like
years ago and certainly not.
Well, if it's a 1-to-1, like Jokic is the best player on the floor, but like the next probably at 3 players are Timberwolves players.
And the Wolves were set up to beat Denver.
And the Wolves are set up to beat Denver. And I don't know if you know this, they fired their coach 14 and a half hours ago. So they're not like, they're in kind of disarray. Now, that being said, I think Luka's intimidating and LeBron is intimidating. But are the Lakers set up to outscore the Timberwolves for potentially up to 7 straight games? Like, I just don't think it's not like the easiest defensive matchup for the Wolves because Luka and LeBron are humongous human beings for the position they play, but they can't guard the Wolves.
No.
Like we're talking about the Lakers. They're going to need to score 120 plus
every game. And the Wolves
and the Timberwolves can. And I don't know if the Lakers, just because of, I mean, if Rui Hachimura decides that it's his time, then you're hosed.
Austin Reeves decides he's just never going to miss from 3.
Right. And Austin Reeves is really nice, but he also can't guard. And Luka is not like a guarder. And LeBron can, in big moments, if the games are close, the series goes to the Lakers. But like the Lakers
did against Denver in some of their wins and just jump out to like a 30-point lead. Like,
they're gonna have to keep it close against this Timberwolves team. The Timberwolves are deeper. They have a million bodies that they can throw at Luka and LeBron at all times. Now, it's not a great matchup to have Jaden guard Luka, like just body mass. That's a tough matchup, but it's gonna be Jaden, and then it's going to be Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then it's going to be Clark, and then it's going to be Ant, and then it's going to be Randall sometime. Like there's just this, like, I think the Timberwolves are, the Lakers are scarier in close games. I think the Timberwolves are a better team.
I think so.
That's risky.
And the Lakers obviously have the star power with LeBron and Luka, obviously. And people go, oh, well, the Lakers have, you know, out of the top players in the series because blah, blah, blah. Like, basically, it's Ant, and then everybody kind of forgets about Ant, and nobody wants to ever talk anything good about Rudy Gobert in the national spotlight. But, like, the thing is, too, is the Lakers don't have a center. Like, that's the other thing. And so if the Wolves, like, want to play... Fortunately for the Lakers, the center for the Timberwolves is Rudy Gobert, who might try to catch passes with oven mitts on. But the rim is going to be like the Timberwolves are going to a lot of dunks in this series. Mike Conley's lobs to Rudy Gobert are going to be very important in this series. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. We don't know yet when game 1 is. They have not announced the schedule, and I wonder if they're
Saturday. The game's Saturday.
Is it Saturday? I didn't know if it was going to be Saturday or Sunday or whatever. Do they know what
the stuff I saw this morning is like Saturday night at 7:30, I think.
Okay, 7:30 from Crypto.com Arena. It's either going to be on TNT or ESPN or Bally Sports North if you're able to get that. That is where things are looking for that first round playoff matchup. And obviously we'll talk more in depth about it as the week goes on, just to get some things to talk about. Some people we think could be playoff risers, some, you know, whatever, get playoff DiVincenzo, you know, Julius Randle. I mean, he kind of has the reputation of a playoff stinker or whatever you want to call it, but we'll see. By the way, the Wolves with Julius Randle have won like 22 of their last 26 games, something crazy like that. Remember back in November, everybody wanted that guy shipped to Siberia. Like, he's a flawed player, but he is very important to what. There's a reason Chris Finch from seeing him in New Orleans, like, wanted him in Minnesota, or was like very happy that
this is important because you can turn this discussion to Karl Anthony Towns. You can turn this to Rudy Gobert. There's a lot of different players, Timberwolves on this roster or Timberwolves adjacent, that this is a relevant point. All of those things about Julius Randle are still true.
Yep.
But what's also true is that when he's right, he's a bona fide playmaker and a bucket getter and can help your team. Now, what he does defensively and how he can space out and how maybe he doesn't care or maybe just he's not that good. Like, those are all real things. Those are true things about him. But the other, like, they're not like, it's not Jekyll and Hyde. All of those things are true about him. Rudy Gobert is an unbelievable defensive player. He has unbelievable flaws offensively. Karl Anthony Towns can do anything he wants on offense. He also can go completely tunnel visioned and lose track of all perspective.
Barrel down the lane from the wing, and you can see the charge coming from 5 miles away.
He'll can lose perspective on the entire world in moments. All of those things are true about that guy. All the stuff about Julius Randle that we said at the beginning of the year has been true about him his entire career and is true today. It also, though, the type of player he is, they won 22 of 26. He's very important to what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're all true. Everything is true.
Everything is true. We'll see what happens. This is a tough Western Conference. Even if the Wolves get past the Lakers, that means they're going to have to play the Rockets, or they're going to have to play whoever the Rockets are going to play. And then if you win that, you get a matchup with the Thunder. So, it's the thing the Wolves learned last year. You breeze past the Suns, you fight in the biggest dogfight of your life against Denver. Everybody's singing your praises, and here come the Dallas Mavericks. You have to get past another team,
who are on a heater of all heaters from the 3-point line.
Right, exactly. So, that's the playoffs. That's just kind of how it rolls. So, all right, Wolves play on Saturday. Wolves in 5. Why not? Jaden McDaniels, by the way, finished the season with 1,000. I'm trying to find the point. He's in the same category as him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 1,000 points, 100 steals, 70 blocks. Him and Shai are the only 2 players in the NBA to do that.
That's cool.
This season. So Jaden McDaniels for MVP? Question mark?
Yeah.
Get some Alfredo. Just
start the campaign. Let's do this.
Let's do this thing. Anthony Edwards finishes the league as the league's leading 3-point shooter.
How many did he make? What's the number?
3.
It's an insane amount. That much I know.
Anthony Edwards this season on 3-pointers. Come on, where are we at? Not the per game. I don't want the per game. Come on, NBA. Let's see. Come on, NBA.
This is now the most important stat of my lifetime, and I will not leave until you tell me the answer.
Come on. Anthony Edwards this regular season, in terms of 3 points made on the season. Come on, where are we at here? 3 points. 3-pointers attempted. He attempted 811 3-point shots this season. Anthony Edwards made 320 3-pointers this year.
That's pretty good.
Pretty darn good. He had a percentage of 39.5 from the 3-point line. That is a career high as well. It's funny because Anthony Edwards, all time when people on a national discourse would talk about him, they would say Anthony Edwards needs to develop shooting. He needs to become a better shooter. And then he decided he was going to start adding 3-pointers to his game. And then now the point is, he's just shooting threes. He's just a volume shooter. That doesn't count. It's like
the pendulum did swing a little far, but he's learning.
Yeah.
The thing that makes me excited about this is that this was the year to do that, to establish that. And every year his game has gotten better. So this translates to next year more of a mixed bag of tricks.
Right. Exactly. It just adds another thing in the arsenal. Now you got to respect that part. And once he learns the balance of 3-point shooting and getting downhill, which he's one of the best in the league at doing, it's really good. By the way, breaking news, the Suns fired Coach Mike Budenholzer. He's gone. Budenholzer. Done.
Yeah, that should solve that problem. That'll solve that problem there.
4th head coach in 4 different seasons. They are neither a playoff team nor a lottery team. But remember, the Twins really missed out when Justin Ishbia wasn't going to back out of buying the team. Now, remember, I want the Twins to be sold yesterday. But to pretend that, Justin Ishbia was the only owner that was going to save the franchise, or, look at what him and his brother do. They want to spend with the Suns. The Suns are a mess right now. A huge mess.
But let's be extra fair. We both wanted Ishbia.
Oh, yeah. No. If Ishbia was going to be the owner, I would have just...
We both wanted Ishbia. We need to be fair about our perspective on this, too, because we wanted him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably it.
And he also would have spent money and what. And yes, all of that is true. But when he backed out and everybody started freaking out like he was the only guy that's ever possible to buy the Twins, it's well, hold on here. It sucks that we have to wait and the Poleheads are still owners and this is still a mess.
I would contend, CJ, I would contend that we would have gotten the better brother owner. Because what this guy's doing in Phoenix is a disaster.
No, he's a basketball guy, and the other guy is more of a baseball guy. So it would have been interesting to see kind of their perspectives.
Yeah.
Would he have understood that, no, you have to build a good farm system to be good. You can't just go star hunting, because that's what the Angels do. And the Angels, for the most part, have stunk the last decade. So
you and your brothers are not the same person. You have some similarities, but you and your brothers... You approach life pretty differently. I think it's probably safe to assume that they would have too. And with how bad this is going in Phoenix, I think I would have taken this Ishbia brother. He couldn't be worse.
What are the odds you got the worst one? Yeah. Somewhere they're watching this, so let me know.
Well, you're social media friends with him. Make sure you tag him in it.
I'll tag him in this one. Okay.
Clip it and send it to him. We still want you. You can't be that bad. You can't be worse than your stupid brother.
Who also would have a major ownership stake in the Twins. But. So good job, Suns. Good job. Speaking of the Minnesota Twins, they lost 2 games, 3 against Detroit. Yeah, just bad games. Saturday's game is just atrocious. You coughed up a late lead on Friday. Once again, just the case of the bats just are bad. Now, Jose Miranda just egregiously slid into second base, thinking he got forced out on a fielder's choice. Didn't check to see what the umpire said. The guy completely missed the bag, and he just got up and started walking. And Javier Baez, you can see him pointing like to the second baseman, like tag him. Boom, out. Boom. Jose Miranda demoted immediately to St. Paul. Now, Brooks Lee was reactivated, but there could have been a conversation. Is it Miranda? Is it Julian? Is it Gasper? No, that was a clear, yeah, we can't be doing that.
It's embarrassing. That is St. Paul. That is, that's one of those, it's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's just unacceptable, period. That's little league stuff.
Right.
And we're not in little league anymore.
There's a screenshot of him looking in the umpire's direction while he's going like this.
Right.
Pay attention. Stand on the bag and look at the umpire and say, am I out? And he'll tell you. Don't leave the bag if you're unsure. And he maybe wasn't sure. Maybe he thought he was out. To the point of what are we doing here? What are we doing? Anyway, that could be a mess. That's its own mess. Whatever. Brooks Lee's back hitting RBI, so that feels good on my take that Brooks Lee is the way you feel about Trevor Larnach, I feel about Brooks Lee, and that guy's just a pro, and I'm gonna bank on him being good more often than not. Whether my eyes tell me otherwise, I'm gonna believe in it.
The way I felt about Trevor Larnach.
He's kind of, he's around. He's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of them. I thought he was going to be more than just a lot of, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I hoped he was going to be more than everybody's got a 7-hitter.
Right. Okay. Everyone's a 7-hitting corner outfielder. Okay.
It's all cool. I love him. He's on my favorite team. That's all fun and games, but there's a million of them. There's a million corner outfielders. There's a million of them.
Yep. So anyway, that's our Twins discussion. They play the Mets this week. Good luck. All right, let's do a quick Immaculate grid. Corey, you want to explain what an Immaculate grid is while I pull it up?
Yeah, an Immaculate grid looks like a tic-tac board. There's 3 categories across the top, 3 down the side. You just try to find a common thread between the intersecting categories. You try to go for the lowest score possible. It's an Immaculate score or a sicko score or a whatever the right word is, score. And if you can do that, awesome. CJ and I will try at moments to get the most ridiculous low score possible, but we will also take every layup that we could possibly get because we want to get them all right. That's more important than the lowest score. Plus, we're idiots and don't know. Our range of knowledge doesn't go that deep.
Across the top from left to right, we have the Philadelphia Phillies, the Minnesota Twins, and a Gold Glove winner. Then
Nice.
we have the Seattle Mariners starting on the top. They go down to the New York Mets, down to a 40-plus WAR, wins above replacement career. So starting off the Twin, that is a Met. I'm going to go R.A. Dickey.
I like it. I mean, I would prefer you do Johan just for the sake of I love Johan, but R.A. Dickey's fun and it's a lower score. And if we can get a lower score, we'll get a lower score.
0.6% of people guessed R.A. Dickey, Twins reliever, but a Cy Young starter later for the Mets. Knuckleball.
Yeah, he was a crazy knuckleball, like Tim Wakefield's knuckleball was 76 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
R.A. Dickey threw a 93 mile an hour knuckleball. He was insane for about a year and a half.
Yeah, insane. And was able to get a Cy Young award off it. So
look at him. He looks like a farmer. It still is one of the most cool things about the game of baseball and golf is every once in a while a guy shows up and just dominates. And you're like, that guy looks like a social studies teacher.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Looking at the Twins Mariners, there's a few different routes we could go for this. You could go Jorge Polanco. You could go Donovan Solano. You could go, I'm just kind of trying to think in recent, you could go Justin Topa, who the Twins got. You could, there's some avenues you have in this one. You cannot go Anthony DeScalfani because even though the Twins traded for him last year, he got Tommy John surgery in spring training and never actually pitched in a game. So
how about Brett Boone?
Brett Boone. Ooh, yeah, let's go with Brett Boone. All right, adding it to the list. Just one T, I think.
One T, I do believe.
Yep. Raboom.
Ding, 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 ding.
People guess that.
Wow, how do more people get Brett Boone than R.A. Dickey? You know what I loved? Nope, that's not the right word. Do you know what I hated about Brett Boone?
Sure.
Is Wood Bat League. You know, all these guys, they'll like, it's pine tar and batter's gloves and maybe like a roll of athletic tape and some sort of design on the handle. You know what he did? He would take like the rubber bat grip that were on all your metal bats growing up, and he had a rubber grip on his wooden bat. It looked just weird and insane, and I didn't like it. Also, he was probably a cheater.
Yeah, that also might factor in to some of that. If we're gonna really be nitpicky,
we're gonna be nitpicky. He did hit like 50 home runs one year out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere. So that's that. Okay, so how about a Minnesota Twin who had a 40-plus WAR career? Now, this WAR is calculated by Baseball Reference, I'm guessing, because Baseball Reference bought Immaculate Grid, not Fangraphs WAR. They're just different formulas, basically the same. Who is a Twin that had a 40-plus WAR career? Now, to do that, you essentially have to be a Hall of Fame player.
Right. So, and I mean, even that, you have to be like
this is
like, it's probably not Mauer. It's probably not Mauer. Probably had seasons of it,
right? Like
as
Kirby
a catcher,
might
but
not have because he retired early. Like,
yeah, but that I think probably helps his case. He didn't have years then at the end where it kind of dwindled off,
right? Because WAR is it's a cumulative statistic, right? So like if you get 4 WAR one season and you have -1 WAR the next season, your career WAR is 3. But
sure,
like it's not like a batting average or something like that where it, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah.
So my guesses here are, I think it's 3 guys. It's probably more than that. It's Kirby, it's Harmon, it's Carew.
Yep. Walter Johnson.
Oh, I forgot about pitchers.
Yeah. No Burt Blyleven. No, I think Kirby's the answer. Let's roll with Kirby.
I think Harmon's a safer bet, but Kirby's fun. Let's go Kirby. I like him more. He's my favorite Twin ever.
Here we go for all of the prospective marbles on the Twins board. Kirby Puckett, boom, 20%.
Love it. Love everything about it.
All right, Kirby is in. We've used up all of our Twins. How about a Seattle?
How could you not love Kirby, other than the personal stuff, which is not very good?
Yeah, how could you not love the baseball player, Kirby Puckett? Yeah. Seattle Mariner, Philadelphia Philly. There's a few names I go back, but I just remember this and it dates me. Cliff Lee played for both of those teams.
That does not date you, by the way.
It dates me that like I just fondly remember the 2010 season and I was really high on the Twins until the Blue Jays, the Thugs, decided to knee Justin Morneau in the forehead. That guy, Justin Morneau was going to win his second MVP that season. His career.
Cliff Lee was so good.
So good. He got traded from the Indians to the Mariners that season, and then he would sign a free agent deal with the Phillies after that. Cliff Lee, the Twins tried to trade for him, remember? And the Twins did not want to give up Wilson, or who was the prospect? I think it was Wilson Ramos. The Twins did not want to give up Ramos in a prospect package.
Instead, they gave him up for Matt freaking Caps. Cool. That worked out.
Yeah, either that or it was like maybe Aaron Hicks. Was Aaron Hicks maybe the player? It was some prospect where, like, looking back on it, was like, you should have just traded him for Cliff Lee. Guys,
Cliff Lee was awesome.
Kick Nick Blackburn out of the rotation, please. Like,
all right, Philly Met. Do you have anybody immediately obvious here?
Philly Met.
This is hard because it's like divisional doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Very often.
Jason Worth. No, that was with the Nationals and the Phillies. I don't believe he played for the Zach Wheeler.
Boom. Done.
Zach Wheeler. Yes. The thing about Zach Wheeler, when he signed with Philadelphia, the Twins offered him more money to pitch for Minnesota. But Zach Wheeler's wife is from like a suburb of Philadelphia. So his wife's like, if you got to play 162 games a year, at least let me live close to my parents.
She sounds like she sucks.
I would contend living on Lake Minnetonka would be much better. But yeah, Zach Wheeler's awesome. That guy's a stud. That guy would have been really fun. That would have been really fun. 40-plus WAR career from a Philadelphia Philly. I mean, there's Ryan Howard. There's Probably not Holiday. Probably not Roy Halladay. Excuse me.
I don't know, man. That's actually not a bad guess at all. Roy Halladay was the best pitcher in baseball for 7 years.
Right.
That's awesome. I mean, isn't the answer here like Mike Schmidt or Pete Rose or something?
You know what? Yeah, probably, but I'm going to go Roy Halladay. May he rest in peace.
Please be right. He was so good.
Boom.
Love it. That's a great pull. Great job.
I'm going to look this up. Roy Halladay played for the Phillies from 2010 to 2013 after playing his entire career from 98 to 2009 with the Toronto Blue Jays. Roy Halladay finished with a career WAR and a Baseball Reference WAR of 64.2.
Yeah, he was amazing.
He was a 2-time Cy Young winner and an 8-time All-Star. That's
great. Great.
Super good.
I love Roy Halladay.
There was something about, I think it was Joe Mauer. Like when Joe Mauer first came up through the minors, like it was like the first season where he was kind of close and people were like, how's this Mauer guy going to do? And he goes up and faces Roy Halladay in a spring training game and goes like 3 for 3 against him or something like that. And everybody's like, oh, Joe Mauer is going to be good. Like, because he faced Halladay and just like.
Yeah, I think that's the Dick Bramer story. Didn't he tell us that?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
By the way, Dick Bramer was on Morning Sports Desk.
That's his favorite. It's his favorite Central Minnesota high school sports podcast, by the way. So he approves it. He went on. That's an admission. Anyway, that interview was from a year ago. Go on wherever you find your favorite podcast or YouTube, and you can find that. Okay, here we go. A Seattle Mariner with a Gold Glove. We could go Ken Griffey Jr. That's the most obvious, but Seattle Mariner with a 40-plus WAR career would also be Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, but we don't have that. Those don't cross.
Oh, yeah.
Your Gold Glove 40 plus WAR.
Yes.
I see. You could do that. I mean, like
Felix Hernandez, probably.
You could also probably Ichiro.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget Ichiro?
Because here's what I would do. I think if we want like a random one for the Mariner Gold Glover.
Yep.
Minnesota Twins fans of a certain age know that Doug Mankiewicz should have won every Gold Glove over at first base, but he had one minor flaw to his game. He wasn't a great thrower of the baseball. And John Olerud won it. John. Yep.
Olerud. Here we go. 3% of people guess John Olerud.
I love John Olerud was awesome, but he hosed over Mankiewicz that year. Or the voters did.
Let's go New York Met Gold Glove winner. Somebody who had to have won a Gold Glove with the New York Mets, David Wright.
David Wright was the first name that came to my mind. He, of course, is not the only one. I'm sure like probably Doc won it as a pitcher or Mike Piazza probably never won it.
Like did Darryl Strawberry win one? Like
Darryl Straub. Yeah. I mean, there's a number of options, but David Wright is like, let's just take the layup there, right?
Let's give it to Captain America here, which was a great nickname, by the way, to have from your team. David Wright, here we go. 40% of people guessed David Wright.
Who else?
I
wonder.
That was a pretty common one.
Reyes, maybe? Did Jose Reyes win one?
Yeah, that's true. Jose Reyes.
But that's probably also a 40% name.
Right. That's yeah, exactly. So whatever. Now I want to look up Jose Reyes. Yes, that Jose Reyes. He was a 4-time All-Star Silver Slugger with a batting title. I don't know if it says if he won a Gold Glove or not.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Maybe he did. No, he never won a Gold Glove. He won Silver Slugger, but not Gold Glove. Well, I mean, National League shortstop who would be around that era that would like chase Jimmy Rollins maybe took some from him, Yeah,
it's hard. I can't.
Something like that. Anyway,
Tulowitzki.
Yep, that's also true. Okay, a Gold Glover with a 40-plus WAR career. Ken Griffey Jr.
I mean, holy Hannah here. Like Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Ichiro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I picked a Hall of Fame outfielder.
Not Michael A. Taylor.
Hey, Harrison Bader has a Gold Glove, so he's got that.
He sure does. He doesn't have the other thing.
He doesn't have the 40-plus WAR career.
Right.
I don't even think Shohei Ohtani has that much WAR yet.
Yeah, I mean that's tough. I mean there's so many that you could. I think Ken Griffey's a fun answer. That's got to be right. I think Jeter is probably our best guarantee there, or A-Rod, but
Ken Griffey Jr. for sure has a Gold Glove, and he for sure has 40+ WAR career because he just played forever. So, did Barry Bonds ever win one in his Pittsburgh Pirate days? Maybe
a Gold Glove,
potentially.
I like Ken Griffey. Put the kid in.
Boom! An immaculate grid. 6% of people guess Ken Griffey Jr. Look at us.
There's so many options.
So many options. You basically just pick a Hall of Fame shortstop and you're there.
Pretty much.
So there we go. There we go. All right, I got to get out of here. This is the Morning Sports Desk powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. See you tomorrow.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.